Hello, hello. We are live with the first ever in-person live show of Elysian Road. I'm excited. My dad's excited in the other room. This has been a long labor of love to make sure that this is all set up and ready to go. But I'm really excited to play some role-playing games with you guys in the same room. And the main reason we're doing this is because the famous Carly Pinch is in Wisconsin with us right now. And so I'm super pumped about it. It's gonna be awesome. I'm very much looking forward to playing with you all. So I think we start with a flashback. And this is the part of the show where I remember that flashbacks exist, and I haven't come up with anything for them. So I've been focusing so much on the producing side of this that I haven't had a whole lot of thought about the actual game, but I'm just gonna play to my strengths and wing everything. So I think the first shot that we get is we see. Let's see, what do we have here? I think we have another Dylan flashback. So I think we see the floating city above Xanless, above the planet of Xanless. Orion City. What?
I thought they weren't floating. I thought they were just in both.
No. The one floating city that's legit in space. There's a space station. No, I think we went through it when you were gonna get the moon tattoo. There's a space station called Orion City that's where the rest of the people in Xanless who don't have or who still have leftover TL4 technology. The rest of them just have TL2, which is industrial level stuff. So we see the station, and it's very kind of strange looking. The rest of the tech we've seen in the sector is pretty grungy. It's very worn. This tech looks like it is fresh off the assembly line. It's this pristine white station, white and silver, and it has a bunch of docking bays for different ships. It has a whole bunch of cool tech just kind of surrounding it. It has a bunch of spindly arm hangars and landing bays that kind of just stick out from the side of this big station hub. And we see this station, and then we just kind of pan down, go into Atmo, and then are looking down now at the kind of arid landscape of Xanless. And then we cut. The music has been going, and then the music cuts. The shot cuts to the surface of Xanless, and we see it's just kind of arid wasteland. There's the remnants of some sort of highway that's has a bunch of cracks in it. There's weeds growing up everywhere on this old highway, and it's silent for a second, and then we see a grav cycle go by. Yeah. It is not the same grav cycle that Ode has. Oh. No, it's a flashback. It's a flashback. Okay. It's a red grav cycle, and it's it looks similar to Ode's, except it is nowhere near as new as Ode's. It's very grungy. It's like a rust red, and it's roaring across this highway, and on it we see a man, a grizzled man, with kind of splotchy salt and pepper beard and kind of spiked hair. It's kind of slightly spiked up. He's wearing grungy clothes. It's just so super punk, this guy. And he's revving the grav cycle as he's roaring down the highway. And then we get the text on the bottom of the screen that says, the sector name or the sector coordinates in the Xanless.
Do you have the sector coordinates?
I do on my tablet, but you've ruined my flow. I wasn't gonna just look them up, but now I'm going to, just to spite you, Carmen.
You're welcome.
So the sector coordinates. So it's the same system as Midas is in, and Newcastle, and the places we've already been so far in the game. It's I'm trying to remember what actually the name. Oh, it's Silas, the Silas system. It's 0002. So we get those on the bottom of the screen, and then we see this guy pull in to what looks like a remnant of a dome city. So It's this giant dome. It's the only thing. It's very, very still grungy. Everything here is grungy, is in direct contrast to Orion City above. And we see him pull up to the gates of this old dome city. And we see that the tech is still working on the dome city. So someone on the other side pushes a button or something, and the heavy iron doors just swing open. They're creaking like crazy though as they do so. He kind of pulls in, and it kind of sets his grav cycle to the side and kind of turns it off. And we see a guard essentially come up to him and say Mr. Calorie, is there anything that we can do for you? Did you see anything of importance? Do you have any word for us? And he says, no, there's nothing. I didn't find anything. I think we're in trouble. I'm not sure the city's going to last much longer. And the sentry is a woman. He has ponytail, brown hair. Kind of looks down nervously and kind of wrings her hands together, and she says, well, what do we tell the people? And he looks up. He kind of nods to himself, and he says, we're going to have to move. And then we cut away to the present. And I think the last shot we get is the camera pans up again, and instead of Orion City, we just see the moon of Zanlis. And then the shot slowly fades out of the moon onto the tattoo of the moon that is on Dylan Calorie.
Nice. The unfinished tattoo.
The unfinished tattoo, right? So, but that's the thing, right? It's the moon on Zanlis at that point was a crescent moon, and so it fades in nicely where even the unfinished tattoo looks the same as the moon did in that shot. And then suddenly we were on the Void's Grace, and so you guys had just finished a job. It didn't go the way that any of you had planned it to go. But
speak for yourself.
Yeah, Evelyn had it all planned out. That's why she didn't do anything in the last couple sessions. She's like, yeah, it's all going according to plan.
Yeah, what the heck happened when I left last time?
I thought I'd give you a recap. Basically what happened was...
Watch it, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Basically what happened... Okay, does someone else want to give a recap of what happened last?
I bought a really expensive motorcycle.
That did happen, yeah.
That's about the only thing that happened.
It did take a long time.
Dylan started reading the Bible.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right.
Nice Bible.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a conversation with Till about it, right?
Yeah.
Somewhat of a conversation.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't know how to computer. Can you compute it for me?
Right. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. But then I mean, the one more important thing that none of you have mentioned so far is you guys got off of the planet that you impounded on.
Oh, that's right.
Remember there was that general guy who you gave the Hephaestus engine to the White Sun Brotherhood and try to make it look as they stole it. What?
The heifer engine?
No, not the heifer engine. That was one of the jokes that happened last second. But no, yeah, we see the port authorities, the people of Bratislav, were like, hey, looks like you just got stolen from. And then Till explained to the port authority, yeah, kind of, we just got stolen from, and we were taking the Hephaestus engine to go sell to you guys, and we don't have it anymore. Sorry about that. And then the port authorities were like, nope, nope, this is suspicious. And they impounded your ship. But through a plan of some sort. What was the plan exactly? How did you do this?
We just blackmailed him.
I blackmailed me and Till blackmailed the general by sending his wife his search history.
And some other stuff.
Threatening to.
More like we threatened to send his...
He was like embezzling stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And his search history.
That was the cherry on top that
Yeah.
Fergus seems to find the most interesting.
The thing that really got him to work with you guys, though, was that he...
We deleted some of his history.
Exactly. You promised to delete some of his history, and you did.
And Till and I rolled like 10, 15 hacking rolls.
That also happened.
Yes, I don't think... Between the two of us, I don't think either of us rolled a bad hack.
I don't think you rolled less than 11 the entire time. definitely maybe not even less than 13. I don't even know. Like it was ridiculous high rolls.
Don't kill that, Connor. If you kill that fly, you're gonna knock the entire table.
Restrain yourself.
Yeah.
This is all less stable than it looks.
Yeah, very, very much less
I
stable.
will keep that in mind.
Yeah, we're all playing footsie under the table here.
I'm the only one wearing shoes though, so.
Yep. So that's the thing, right? Like, so I guess we got to be continued, or I'm sorry, the previously on, through our little recap there. It was much more elegant in the show version of this, but we don't have the budget for it. So, but we probably at that point, get the, this is after the credits and all that stuff, but we get the shot of Dylan, doing whatever Dylan's doing on the ship after we fade out, after we like kind of zoom out from her tattoo.
Reading her electronic Bible.
Oh yeah, her little tablet. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, do you have a particular thing you would like to learn? What are you looking for? What's your intent in reading the Bible? Have you been convicted of sin yet? Is that
Probably. She's very still, from the first episode, very, morally conflicted and, not sure, how she should feel about certain things, and just wants to know how she should feel about certain things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, yeah, because of the whole you almost murdered someone a couple times. Yeah. That thing. Yeah, I mean, so I'm curious as to how we can mechanize this.
You can make a clock.
That is very true. That is definitely a true thing that can happen here.
You can write in your notes or something.
Yeah, if you want to write in your notes. Well, here I want to write this down because I have some ideas, I think, too. Let me find a note-taking app out here. Is there a memo? Works. Yeah, I think what we'll probably do is we'll start a clock for a countdown kind of a thing for Dylan. What is it, Dylan becoming a Christian? Is that what this is?
Or does she have a moment of conviction where she just stops everything and has to deal with it?
Right.
Yeah, this might be to a climactic decision making.
Right, to a decision point. That makes sense. Yeah.
Decision points and saving throws. And...
Yeah.
I convict you. Make a mental save.
Yeah. Roll your luck check for God's providence upon you. I know. I'm getting a little sacrilegious here. So Dylan. That's not the word Dylan. Dylan clock. Okay. I'm just writing a note to myself to make that later. So I'm trying to think of what we want to roll now, though. Because we could have you make a save. I could have you try to Is your only intent to just get further Dylan to get to that decision point, or is there something specific you want to learn?
For now, just further getting to the decision point.
Okay. Make a mental save.
Okay.
Let's roll for the first time here. Okay,
Isn't
so
that an investigate spell? Is there a spell? Skill?
there is it would be notice probably.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I mean, okay. So make a notice check first. Let's have you do that first, just to see if you're absorbing things, right? And see if you're see if you're actually understanding, right, what you're reading, or if you're misinterpreting things.
This could be interesting.
Right? Because this could lead. Maybe Dylan gets an interesting idea of what.
Yeah,
she
you read
believes.
that part about tearing off your eye. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Cybernetics.
Well, for her it would be your hand, right? For her it would be your hand. It would be wow, I used my hand
that's
to
fair.
commit violence on someone, cut it
Yeah.
off.
And then get one that has a sword on it. All right, sorry. Move on.
That would be directly against that whole point.
But it would be
Anyway,
cooler.
so go ahead
There's
and.
also that command where go out and buy swords if you don't have them?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But she
Well,
does.
One sword.
Okay.
It was like 2 swords is
Two
enough,
swords, right?
right?
She's only got one right now.
Yeah.
Well,
she
technically,
does
I've
have
got 2. I've got the
One that it looks like the baton, that is a
stun
baton,
sword, yeah.
and one that's an
And the
actual
actual
sword.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh wait, no, because Fergus gave me like stealth ones. So
Yeah.
Everyone has stealth
Yeah.
on everything that they
So
have.
you have 3 swords. Okay, gotta get rid of one of the swords. But no, so let's have you roll 2d6.
Let's make it
Add
short.
your notice and your wisdom. Yeah, so 2d6. Yeah,
I just rolled it.
you're gonna roll those 2,
Okay.
and then so you have a wisdom of 0. You gotta flip your character sheet over. What do you have for notice?
Skills are top.
Plus 0. Yeah.
And then I think you have the wisdom of 0 too.
Probably.
It's in the right.
Top right.
Jared, don't play with your mic stand. It comes through. Yours is the only one
So it's
with
just
shock
a straight
monster.
roll then. So what did you get?
8.
8. Okay, you're on your way. Like you're understanding. It's a very basic understanding of what. Okay, so where are you reading exactly?
Trying to think how fast she would read this.
Are you literally just reading from Genesis to
Yeah.
Revelation?
Last session she started at Genesis, so
It seems like a logical place to start.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
she wouldn't know
Right.
anything else. So
Right. Okay. So I'm trying to think of how far you would have gotten and what like.
I mean,
How much
we're
time has passed?
going
She got to
through
Leviticus 7.
Aren't we making
was
a
like-
work?
That's true. We are gonna make a spike jump.
So it's
Spike
at least
jump.
3 days.
Spike drill. What is the actual word for that?
It's a spike drive.
Jump?
Spike jump or spike drill? Is it spike drill?
Oh, that would be weird. Please no.
Because I know it's called like drilling
I
through
think
space.
it's just
or something.
jumps.
Is it just a spike
I
jump?
just call it a jump.
Space
Okay.
jump.
A spump.
like a speed
No,
bump.
that's
Yeah.
that's the thing in volleyball where you miss. Anyway, you miss your ball.
Gosh, I touched it again. It's just right here, and I'm struggling not to touch it.
It's okay. It's just I can hear it. And
Yeah.
so can the stream audience.
I'm so sorry, stream.
We have a stream audience?
ASMR.
Yeah, it's Caleb in the future.
Yep.
Hi, Caleb from the future.
You're a handsome fellow. Anyway, so
I hate you.
That's
anyway, so yeah, I mean we're gonna have a little time here in while we were going through space. So I mean you can get through as much as you want. What do you think? How fast a reader is Dylan?
I think pretty fast. She's probably
Like a
in like
dexterity check.
middle of Exodus by now, maybe.
Okay.
So it hasn't gotten yet to the mental save that is Leviticus.
Yeah. So you're getting an idea of like, right? You're understanding that these people believe some strange things about like the creation of the world, and so actually this might be an interesting way to bring up what Dylan's preconceived notions are about epistemology and like metaphysics, right? Like, what does she believe about the world? What has she grown up with? I know. Okay, so the sector, like, just as a point of reference, this sector does actually have, I would say, about as much as a Judeo-Christian background in terms of like a general understanding of what the Bible is and what like the history of it. As like America does today. So you guys would all be familiar with like Genesis and the idea of God, a God creating the world. You know, that whole thing is familiar to most people in the sector. But yeah, what does Dylan believe?
I think she has a vague like sense that there's definitely a God,
Mhm.
but all her life has never thought that there's any reason to obey him,
Right.
and has definitely had like certain moral values instilled in her, like most people, just as they grow up in a family, but has definitely not been told why that's right or wrong.
Sure. Yeah. So you're the moralistic American family who has Judeo-Christian values
Yeah.
but doesn't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Interesting. Yeah, so you're just reading a lot of things that like you're already kind of familiar with, and you have the basic understanding of like the sort of things like, you know, when Cain kills Abel, you know, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, like I know the Bible agrees that killing is wrong, right? Okay, that's a thing.
In Genesis, when God says if you kill another person, you deserve the death penalty.
Right, yeah, and
so
you're definitely
she's like, okay.
probably dealing with that. And the thing is, you haven't killed someone yet.
Yeah.
You've come very close.
Yeah.
They didn't die.
I mean, we did
They
inject a
did,
bunch
but
of
it was
people into
Connor that
space.
killed them.
Right. I
But
mean,
Dylan has not been directly responsible.
Although I
for
killed
anything.
somebody, so that might be.
That's true.
Till did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Till pressed the button on the evacuation.
Oh yeah.
Ejects everybody.
And which religion is this? Because it's not the psychic cult thing, which is basically Catholic.
This is All Saints Church of
psychic
God.
Catholicism. Right?
Yeah, this is the All Saints Church of God.
So
Psychic
is that like
figures,
Protestant?
It's
space evangelicals.
yeah, it's like space
What?
space Puritans, kind
Right.
of. It's more puritanical than evangelical.
So
I
what
would
you're
say.
telling me is that Space Dylan is exactly like he was in Crow Inquisitors, where he goes and kills Protestants as a Catholic.
Yes.
Okay, I was just
Pretty much.
checking.
So
Yes.
All right.
is Ode a space Catholic,
Yeah,
Basically.
and then she's becoming a
Yeah.
spaced
Protestant.
Protestant.
And again, like they are very far removed from the actual like American definitions of those words.
Psychic Catholic.
But it's
yeah.
it's simplified for the purpose of understanding kind of where they fit in the
Right.
relationship to each other. But yeah, like
Okay,
yeah,
that makes more sense.
So where is the teetotaling polygamous believes they can ascend to godhood?
right,
right here.
The new cult, the Fergus cult.
I don't think space Mormonism exists in this sector.
Not yet.
Okay.
It probably does exist in another sector, but not in this sector. I don't think. There's probably some small portion of it that maybe has survived, but I mean, from what we know of the history of this setting, right? There was a whole galaxy that was colonized, and then each sector got isolated from each other, and so who knows what other sectors had in terms of their population, their religious beliefs, and so on and so forth. You guys maybe have a general idea because of the historical archives you do have in computers and things, but it's definitely, there has been a lot lost of what it once was like.
They were all psychic archives, and now they're gone because of this.
There was probably a lot of psychic archives, yeah, for sure. But yeah, so you're understanding, right? You're understanding the basics. You're like a normal person who isn't like completely like turned off by the Bible, and you're like, wait, what is happening? But you're definitely confused as anyone else would be reading the Bible for the first time. So let's have you make a mental save.
Okay.
Now.
So just roll this.
Yeah, it's a D20, right? Yeah. And so it should say on your sheet what you have for a mental save.
Where? Oh.
Right there.
Okay. 12.
Yep. So you have to get a 12 or better.
11.
Oh no.
Oops.
So,
Take 1d10 psychic damage.
that's the wrong game.
Yep, I know. I just spent so much time studying that.
I know,
It's so
man.
ingrained in my skull.
Yeah. So I think Connor's trying to catch a fly over there.
Dude, you don't have any chopsticks. Just give up. Or yeah, pencils. Do it.
I think Dylan is starting to have a little bit of a crisis in her own mind, right? Just
Yeah,
barely, right? It's starting to settle as a weight in your stomach,
Yeah.
right? Like oh no, like, oh, I was hoping that this would give me like some sort of out, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it was okay. It's okay to murder people in this instance, but you're not seeing anything so far.
Yeah.
So. All right, cool. So Dylan's up to that.
Drinking a coffee. Like me. On brand.
Yeah. So, what are the rest of you kind of up to, as because you guys are, I know we're gonna get to Till and have him like figure out another job and make some rolls to get you guys to a different part of the sector. But what are you guys up to while Josh is fiddling with the
I think
settings?
while
Sorry,
Dylan
No,
is
you can-
having her religious exploration, Ode sends a message back to his dad, and so he's just sitting in his room on his compad.
Okay.
And you see him like typing on something, and
Sure.
we see a shot of the message, and it's got addressed to his father or whatever. What was his first name?
Your father?
His Anger. But
Robin.
Okay, Robin Anger. And of course his email is like Banff Explosion 24
Right.
or whatever
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. And yeah, he's basically saying he wants to be. He's like, I need to be retested for MES. Do you know anybody I can contact for that or whatever? Like whoever it was that tested him as a child, he wants to have that person retest him.
Okay.
Or find somebody in system, but. Basically, yeah, he sends it back being like,
Yeah.
so there's been some weird stuff, and I want to have a retest for MES. But,
Sure.
and of course, it'll take some time to get to him. So he hits send, and then he closes it out, and he makes an amazing program roll that he's so good at
Okay.
to
Yeah.
try and find somebody from his religion, or I guess that's Connect. His equally bad Connect roll to
Right,
try
to
and
try
find
to-
somebody who,
Yeah. Circles
Which,
up a person.
knowing my luck, it's gonna be Space Dylan. Let's do it. Oh, thank goodness.
What'd you get?
It's still a 7.
Okay. 7.
Wait, what's the modifier for that? The stat modifier.
Is he like up against the window?
Literally, right.
Like does
I
he
hear
know
you
we're
guys
in
down
here
there.
and he's like barking at us?
No, I don't think so.
Because-
As long as it's not wisdom, I got a 7. I assume connect with your big charisma
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
intelligence.
charisma.
Okay, all right, then it's an 8. Right?
It's an 8.
Okay, that's it. What
No,
are you
7.
rolling, Jared?
It's a 7.
Rolling
He's
the monster
generating a
fight.
beast. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I have so far.
Oh goodness.
So I just like to point out that with my hover bike, I can shoot it from 8,000. I don't know if that's meters, 8,000 units away, and has like.
I think it must be meters. Yeah.
It's how do I aim that far?
I don't know.
I don't understand how I'm
Technology?
supposed to physically use that. I don't know. Anyways, it's okay. I'll just hang back and snipe it with railguns. All right, yeah. So yeah, I got 7. Say good
Wait. What are you looking at?
for a connect. I got a 7.
No, the range on.
Oh. 4K, 8K.
Wow, that's a ridiculous
That's yeah.
amount.
I mean, the
Far.
long range of a laser rifle is 300, and this is the short
Yeah.
range for this is 4K.
I guess. So are these supposed to be on ships then?
They're heavy weapons. You can.
I think I fixed it.
Actually,
that's
I
good.
don't think they're the kind you can carry because they don't have a weight.
Right.
But that's probably why it's mounted on a vehicle.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard, you guys.
But they're not ship
Bothering
weapons
me
though.
so
That's a separate
much.
section. They're just heavy weapons.
Keep staying on
So
the
because ship weapons have their own section.
Did you finally get it, Connor?
Yep.
Nice.
I murdered it so hard. My hands are so dirty.
Okay. Cool. So,
Right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So yeah, you got a 7.
Yes.
Right, okay.
It should be
Yeah,
spaced out
I
anyways.
think, like, obviously you won't know about this until later, but I think your connect roll, I think that person is dead now.
Well, he's looking for a different person than he originally did because
Okay.
he's looking for someone in system
Oh, someone insisted
because
that
he
your
wants to do it soon.
parent
But he,
knows.
yeah. Well,
that your
so he
parent-
sent the message back just because he wanted to tell his dad and because he thought maybe if this didn't go
So
right.
you do know that you're probably gonna head
Then-
out to a different system soon. I mean, you guys are literally like on the edge of the system, getting ready to leave because like you don't want to
Okay.
be here. Because
Well, then he would be looking for someone in the system he was going to. And I guess maybe the message to his... I'm trying to think, because he can't ask his dad for advice, because then it'll take too long to come
Yeah.
back. So I think he's just saying that to him, being more like, hey, this is what's going on.
I'm going to find someone.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, yeah, he tries to find somebody who can actually find him
Okay.
to himself.
Yeah, so I think maybe what you have. So there must be like a profession of people who do this, right? Who
Oh, yeah.
who
I'm
like
sure.
help test possible people who have MES. So
Because you have to have them medicated, otherwise
exactly.
they kill everybody.
Yeah. So I think that you're familiar with the culture of that like profession, but I think you kind of do some research and oh no. You kind of do some research. Our cat just came in.
I think everyone's distracted.
Sorry, go on.
As soon as the cat gets to a place where we can,
She'll bite you if you pet her too much. So.
Yeah.
I mean, not the hard way many times.
I'm gonna throw him out and close the door.
Overstimulus-induced aggression. It's a cat thing. It's not a
Yeah.
bug, it's a feature. Right, Lucky?
Sorry. Go on.
I think you know, like you're looking up and you're like, oh hey, I know this guy who like is in the system that you're going to. So you guys are gonna go to the Scylla system, right? That Xanos is in.
Right.
And so you're like, oh yeah, I remember that one guy. And then you look him up. He's dead. He was like older, and so he's dead. But looks like his son does it now. So, like,
What's his son's name? Okay.
Let me.
Just waiting for you to say it was Dylan.
No, it's
Okay.
it's not Dylan. Don't worry.
Alphonse.
It's Al. No.
Spalfons.
Oh no, that just hurts.
Yep,
My
yep,
brain cells
yep,
just
that's
died.
painful.
Yep.
Oh, direct exposure.
Yeah. Let me
Roll on the mutation chart.
I'm gonna grab a name here.
Grow an extra arm.
Perpetually like poor Yorick.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
coming out of your chest.
Here we go. Okay, so yeah, I think this person is from like the same culture as
Is Ode?
no, not as Ode,
Oh,
but
as
the
Dylan.
planet you're on, the planet that you grew up on.
Oh.
Remember, you grew up on a different planet than what your actual culture is.
Oh, Itnili?
Samoan, yeah. So the guy's name is
Billy Bob.
Tasura Tuala.
That's not Billy Bob. How do you spell that?
Tasura Tuala. Tasura Tuala.
Sura. Is he Japanese?
No, he's
Okay.
Samoan.
Oh, you just said he was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. So you have that contact information. You can look him up when you get into system.
Sweet.
Speaking of getting into system, Till Aderant, would you like to try to find a job for the crew? So you guys are like making your way as fast as you possibly can to the edge of the system that Bratislav is in.
You should get us a pizza.
And you do know that, you know, your suspicion is eventually someone will track you guys down, or you just don't want to stay in the system very long.
So no, we're not stopping
we
for
were
space
going
pizza.
to.
Yeah.
No, we're going to deliver it for money.
We're
Are
gonna
we not
deliver
going to
space
Dylan's
pizza.
We are, but
We are, yeah.
this is the process of
Pizza?
figuring out that we are
Yeah,
going
okay.
to. We know as players that we are
Pizza
going to
Hut?
eventually go there. Till is
Hut,
figuring it
yeah.
out right now. Thank
No,
you. Yeah.
pizza.
Okay.
That's
No,
the
that
one I
sounds.
didn't
That's
know.
gonna sound bad. Never mind. I mean, it
I
won't
was
be,
honestly
but
thinking of doing that anyway. So.
Thanks to Hut sounds like something else. So it's just,
Okay, fair enough.
You guys are like being distracting.
oh no.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, that's the issue with this, right? Like usually we have side conversations when we're doing it at the table, but when you're doing the stream, everyone can hear everything. It's a little overwhelming.
Right.
But yeah. So, what you want to do? Want to make a roll to find a good job?
Yeah, let's do that.
Sounds good.
That's gonna be one of them program roles, right?
It depends on if you're. I mean, if you're.
How are
looking
you
up,
doing it?
then-
What is Till actually doing?
I'm using. Oh, what's the one that they always advertise on the radio? I don't know. Spacejobs.org.
Spobs.org. Yeah, I know.
LinkedIn.
Right, so you just go to the normal. You go to monster.com or whatever. Yeah.
Monster.com.
Sponsor.
Monster.
They sponsor.
Let's just move on.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We'll just move on.
But yeah, I don't want to just automatically let you run a program for everything because you'll automatically get like the best job
If
ever.
you've let Jared actually look at the rule book, you need to let me roll my good
Okay,
stats for
so
everything.
yeah, so
What?
I'm gonna you can roll program, but you're rolling it with charisma.
Yeah. So I feel like if you're rolling programmer basically on Craigslist, whereas if you roll Connect, you can know somebody, which might be more consistent, but also might just be worse because people are the worst. So.
Yeah, you're gonna do this with charisma because you're trying to like
I don't want to roll.
you're yeah, so you can program up with charisma.
Okay.
Let me help you. Then you get extra.
Well, what if
Does Till really go and find Fergus when he's looking for a job? I feel like that's okay. Just checking. That seemed like a thing. That
I'm a
wouldn't
strong, independent spaceman.
happen.
Don't you know, child?
Child.
Child.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have a special ability that lets you roll 3d6 and drop the lowest.
And that means I rolled a 6.
Oh,
What's your program?
awesome.
3d6 plus 0.
Oh, that's right. You just have the okay.
Because I am under leveled apparently.
Okay, so I think what it is you scour the internet. There's something weird going on right now on a lot of these websites. So you try going to a bunch of like the normal websites you would go to find jobs. And a bunch of them are like offline, like they've crashed. There's like a couple of them have like those pages that pop up where it's like, ha ha ha, this website has been hacked by insert anarchist hacker organization here, right? Like
the only ones that are left.
This one would be Space Anonymous. Synonymous.
Yeah.
Synonymous.
Oh,
Perfect.
that's actually pretty cool.
That's actually cool. That is definitely canon.
Yep.
Synonymous.
Yeah,
is
they're
the
called
hacker
synonymous.
organization.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to make a new faction in the game.
The only ads that are left are from Millie Princes who want you to send them money, and
Yeah.
they'll send you twice.
See,
Yes, yeah, that is definitely a thing too.
Would Anonymous and Space Anonymous work as a faction, or would they just be sort of rogue?
You can be a rogue faction.
It can be a small
is there
faction,
A mechanic
yeah.
for like not really coordinated effort, but just does random
You can
things
be
that disrupts.
pirates and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could either just not treat them as a faction. Yeah, I would only honestly add them as an actual faction if they became important in the story. Like if you guys started interacting with them directly. But
Sorry, good.
yeah, so obviously that's what's happening. And so one of the only websites that you trust that's like available has doesn't have as wide a selection as you would like. And so you end up literally like looking at this entry. You're just like, it pays well. It's nearby. But my brother-in-law is the one hiring. So yeah, you see a listing from Gregor Calorie.
Oh yeah, we get to meet Tone's dad. This won't be weird.
And yeah, there's a giant murder beast of some sort that's like
Dylan's dad?
attacking his colony.
Oh,
No,
okay,
that's attacking the colony on Xanless, and he is paying a good chunk of cash to attempt for anyone who can kill the thing.
Real happy that it's his daughter who's gonna go kill it.
Yeah.
Monster hunting and family
Yeah.
reunion.
No, we-
two things that Till loves the most.
I mean, let's be fair. We can't do this without at least a 12-foot sword. So we just have to go shopping again.
Go buy a Kolos blade.
It's gonna have to
I
be somebody else.
really hope that one of these days we go to a shop and we're like, hey, can we have this thing? And the person is like, yes, you can.
I mean,
And then
to
we
be fair,
leave.
Every time I've gone, they've said yes, and then they've given me an exorbitant price to pay.
To be fair, the one time I did it, I got everything basically for free. I got everyone and stuff.
I remember when you
Oh,
hired
okay.
those mercenaries?
Well, you didn't go to a store. You just told
Oh,
them to
yeah.
steal it for you.
Oh, I went to a store.
Did you?
They took me to the store.
Oh, well.
Did we use them at the store? The mercenaries?
Pretty sure their roles were what got you all that stuff. Anyways.
So, yeah, okay, so we hacked and... Yeah. So, that's not fair.
Yeah, so that's the sitch. I'm trying to think of what makes sense for. Can I have the book, Connor?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what makes sense for a job of this sort.
2 million credits.
No, that's the thing. You guys got paid a lot for the last job.
My dad's probably not that rich.
And he's not.
Well, I mean, he probably also has, like, a pool from all the people who don't want to have their homes burned
It's true.
down and eaten.
Yeah, he's definitely made a communist colony. So
I mean, it doesn't have to be communist for them to be like, please don't eat us.
no,
Here's
of course,
some money.
yeah, it can be anarcho-communist. They're voluntarily.
Sure.
Voluntarily.
Yeah. Let's see.
They took a poll. There were only 2 options.
Yep. Give us money, die.
Yeah.
No. Your dad isn't that bad.
Yay. That's good.
Yeah.
I got moral values from somewhere, so.
Yeah. I know that
From
there's...
Evercraze.
I know that this... Oh, here it is. Okay, so let us see. I think he's offering 25,000 credits for the head of this thing.
got a hot dog, Jared.
So
Is that at least the cost of the spike jump?
Oh yeah, I mean
We can just
way
sell
more
all
than
the
that.
spike
Yeah,
jump.
like it doesn't cost that much for fuel. You're only like 2 hexes away, so it's
Okay.
not that big of a deal. Yeah,
Okay.
it would definitely be worth your time. Now, like he doesn't have a lot of information on what the beast exactly is. He's not a xenobiologist. No, that's definitely not what it's gonna be.
No.
Because I'm not gonna have everybody read it and then know what's coming.
Get out of here.
It's a flying stealth spider.
No, I'm not gonna fight
not?
a flying
That's
stealth
the worst.
Oh.
That is literally the worst thing you could have possibly come up with.
Why did you give Jared the rulebook again?
Jared just took the rulebook. I didn't
Such a
give it
nice
to him.
book.
Isn't it though? It's such a nice hardcover.
You give me an hour with the book and I break the game.
So he's offering 25,000 for the head of the thing. Obviously, you can negotiate. You can kind of figure out more of that
How much is he offering for its tail?
for the whole thing. And you just proof of its death.
Just get it.
You know how bounties work, David. Anyway, so
What if we just brought him its bits?
yeah,
Yeah, that's how we prove it.
I guess. You just have to prove it's dead, I guess.
Well, we could just film it. It'd be kind of weird, but
I mean, actually, that's honestly
it's
the best
probably
way
a
to do
better way
it
to do it. Yeah.
in this day and age.
Just call up Limbo, have a live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Except you can't do that on
Probably.
Zanless because
Space
No,
Twitch.
GoPro.
Spropo.
Just stream it on Space Twitch.
Let's go for it in
Pro.
space. Yeah. Anyways, we should stop doing that. We spend so much time.
I know.
We do.
So so you can he the only information he has on it on the beast itself is ooh fancy
Hey, look at that.
is that it
Pay us.
is large. It's like the size of a house at least.
seems
It's
excessive.
dangerous. Like it caused a lot of property damage and murdered multiple people. And it's some sort of
How'd you do?
like reptilian beast. So
Reptilian spider?
Xanless again like was a TL4 world before the Scream and whatever colonial thing, or not even that. I guess it was probably TL4 world for a while after the Scream, but something happened to cause it to collapse.
Heavy metal happened and then everything.
And
shut down.
one thing that Xanless was known for was I mean, like most worlds, right? Like genetic engineering of various sorts. Like all TL4 worlds dabbled in it. Xanless,
As you do.
yeah. So there have been a lot of rumors, right, of the things that stalk the night in Xanless, because like it's basically a wasteland. Everywhere but the dome cities, it's a wasteland. But it's a wasteland populated by like mutant beasts that have
Fun.
adapted to survive the nuclear wasteland that is the rest of the planet. So anything that you find is going to be nasty, it's going to be big, and it's going to be tough. So, yeah.
That's the main reason I know how to wield a sword.
It's gotta be fast. It's gotta be strong. And it's gotta be fresh.
It's got to be fresh from the fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Just making sure.
So Till,
What?
what do we see on Till's face as he kind of like staring at the listing here?
A mustache.
Yes. No, he hasn't shaved in a couple of days.
Yeah.
It's a glorious, several-day-old 5 o'clock shadow.
Perfect.
No, I think Till's not pleased about the idea. Family reunion. Also not pleased about the idea of trying to explain to his sister why her daughter now has a tattoo.
Or at least half a tattoo. Still a tattoo, yeah.
Half a tattoo is still a tattoo in my sister's eyes.
Uh-huh.
So, I think if this is the only thing he can find,
It's definitely the best thing you can find. Like, there's other ones, but a lot of them are probably scams, and a couple of them don't pay very well at all.
And hey, we get to kill something without feeling bad for once.
yeah, Till's decided that he wants to keep his kidneys, so we're gonna go kill something.
Mhm.
That's Sandless.
Okay.
You are the banana.
So, how do
You
you
regrow your kidneys when you're done.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god.
Kidney
We could
farm.
just Sell kidneys.
And okay, there goes the whole session for today. Instead, we are going to spend our time in the black
Now
market
we're playing Blades
selling
into
and
Space.
regrowing kidneys.
I feel like there's already been a company that's mass-produced kidneys. I don't think it's really in need
Honestly, yeah.
anymore.
We need to make a hack of Blades in the Dark called Blades in Space. And it's just about selling kidneys.
It wouldn't be that hard, yeah.
Blades in space.
Yeah.
No. So how do you break this to the rest of the crew? You just decide for everybody that we're going to do this job?
Well, I think he kind of presents like 4 options to give him an idea of what we're looking at. He's like, okay, here are the normal places they look. This one's giving a 500 error. This one was taken down and has a big angry smiley face turning upside down.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
This one's just completely empty. And then there's this one that they probably want to kill us and harvest our kidneys. And then we could go, or we could go back to Xanthus. Kill some monster. Or
Dylan gets really excited.
dad.
We do have 2 railguns. To
So
test.
he- yeah.
Wait, what? For who?
Dylan's dad.
Oh, alright, cool.
How do you feel about that, Dylan?
Dylan's like, yes, please.
Okay, alright.
You realize
Probably a bit homesick by now.
you're gonna have to explain to your mother you have a tattoo now.
So her mother is dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Father,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was canon yet or
No,
not.
it
but
was.
that-
It's
that
definitely,
is-
it's
yeah.
definitely canon.
Don't
Yeah, we've talked
recall
about it.
Yeah, that's
back
We've
to-
talked about it on stage. What did you say?
I said it was a cannon? Man, that's rough.
David.
No, I forgot what I was looking for.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Well.
So yeah, does anyone have any objections to go killing the giant monster in Xanthus?
We get to find a mystery monster. Count me in.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, yeah, sure. I know that.
Realizing that he's gonna have to meet Dylan's dad.
Yeah. I mean, sure, we kill a monster, who cares? But
Evelyn, what do you think?
She says nothing.
Alright, par for the course, yeah.
Fair enough.
she's playing golf.
Alright. Pack your bags, brush up on your monster lore. We've got ourselves a hunt.
Alright, and with that, you let's have you roll to navigate everybody there, hopefully in one piece.
Alright.
Please
Okay,
don't
so
kill us, sir.
you're in 103 Vitskoy right now, so you're gonna have to make 2 jumps, one to 102 and one to 0002.
We really need to get someone with the Starfarer focus.
Starfarer, folks?
You just auto pass.
Once Till hits level 5, you can get it.
Yeah, you just auto pass any like spaceship thing that's 10 difficulty or less, I think, or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can I have the book real quick?
Yeah.
Make sure I know the-
I think I know what I'm taking next level.
So how long does it take to get there?
Let's see.
It's 3 days per jump as long as you
I
don't
think
mess it
3
up.
days per jump. Okay, so it's gonna take 6 days.
Right? Or wait, do we have the basics day? Yes.
You have the basics.
I think it's 6 days per jump.
6 days per jump. Okay, so it's
At least if
let's
it's
double check.
like it was in the first edition.
I think it is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Are we gonna have the
3
standard
days is the
recap of what we're doing during space travel?
Maybe. We already know what she's doing.
Evelyn, what are you doing during this little?
Are you still trying to
She's
shoot that
gonna
dummy?
start
Reading
reading up
this
on
Bible.
Your
on-
gangster gun?
What?
You
Yeah,
still
6
trying to
days
shoot
per
that
hex
dummy?
traveled divided by
No.
the spike drill rating.
What? Sorry.
It's 6 days per hex traveled
Yeah.
divided by the spike drill rating.
Which is
You
1,
only have a 1
so-
right now, so it's going to take 12 days to get there.
Okay.
So base difficulty is 7. You have less than a year old charts, so no difficulty added there. Let's see.
I spend the whole time
You're not
practicing with my
rushed.
grav thing in the cargo bay.
Oh yeah.
Because I have to somehow get from -1 to +1 piloting in the time it takes us to get there.
Well, I mean, you probably download download a simulation. You just
That
download
would
a
be
video
much
game.
Smarter idea.
You would download a racer video game.
True. True.
Space Forza Horizon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Forza.
Yeah.
You don't want to total your bike before we even get
Yeah.
Right, like if you tried to drive it in the hangar, you would crash
If
it.
you crash in my hand,
So
don't
we see-
scratch
Then
my
your
shit.
insurance will cover it. It's fine.
Do we have insurance?
No, definitely don't have insurance.
Yeah, I specifically didn't buy it. So.
Yeah, Ode. Ode is. We probably have a shot of Ode like starting to like power it up and like rev it a little bit, and then we just hear from the hangar exactly what Josh just said.
No.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. The music's too loud.
So I think it's just a difficulty 7.
Okay. To do both at the same time?
You have to do you have to do one and then the other.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's not. Jump into
Well, so that's a 5.
That is rolling with int, so it's a 6.
Oh, it's a 6. Okay. So still failure.
We warp
It's
into a
bad.
sun.
My
Good
bad.
game.
It's all good. So
This is the first time we
Jeez,
failed a
guys.
jump test. I think it is.
This is the
GG.
first time we've made a jump test?
No,
we've done it.
you were started in in Silas
First time
and
we
then
failed, though,
jumped
isn't
to
it?
Vitskoy. This is the first time you failed. Well, actually, wait, Josh, you have an expert ability that allows
Oh
you
yes,
to
please
reroll
reroll this. This
once
is the
per
worst
scene.
part
Allows you
of
to
Star Citizen
reroll a
ever.
non-combat skill.
Oh, right.
Rolling
Okay.
badly on jumps is the worst part of this game.
Did you get worse?
Yeah.
I rolled
Same.
exactly the same.
Oh.
4 and a 1.
Oh.
Awesome.
I even used 2 different dice this time.
Cool.
Wait, can somebody help him?
I could have
Um,
programming.
So that costs 500 credits per jump. So just go ahead and take 500 credits off the ship account, or just make a note. You're right that it's minus 500 credits. Do we have any money in the ship account anymore?
We had some.
Who knows?
I think we took some out for something stupid.
What does alternate outcome
Probably.
do?
I think you can only do it to yourself. But let me see.
And then I also have Oracle.
Yeah, alternate outcome.
That's just for seeing. You could.
The precog can sense impending failure and attempt to salvage the action. Oh, okay. As an instant action, the precog can target a visible ally or their own self and commit effort for the day to allow the target to re-roll a failed skill check and a bunch of other things. But
Would she?
taking the better of the 2 rolls.
Is the question.
What?
Would she? Is the question.
I mean, I would assume so.
I mean, do you just stand there and cast that on him every time he makes a jump?
She's the co-pilot, right? Like that's been established. So she's usually in the bridge,
Oh.
hanging with Till.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
I like to feel like I'm in control.
Mm-hmm. If she's anything on the ship, she's the first mate, right? Like in
Right.
terms of actual.
off the yoke on that side.
Secretly done.
Right.
turn
So
off the
you
what?
can't actually drive anything.
Oh, gotcha.
I heard you did. And I'm sure the audience did too.
Wait, what did you say?
Oh, it's okay.
I'm definitely gonna rewatch this
You
later.
gotta reroll again, Josh.
Yeah, so you get one more reroll, and you take the better of the 2. Not that it will
Hold
matter,
up, though.
But
I never said that I was going to do this. Would it be more interesting if we failed the jump?
No, this
No.
is horrible. Don't do it. I mean, we'll probably just fill the next one too, but it's okay.
Then our
Filling.
What happens?
You can
What happens if he fails the jump?
anything from you
I-
go nowhere to like.
I roll
you
on a
warp into
table.
star.
I roll on a table. I roll a 3d6, and
So we could legitimately die.
This could just be game.
so the worst thing that can happen is catastrophic dimensional energy incursion. The ship emerges around a star within 1d hexes of the target destination with drive and all systems destroyed.
Yeah,
you got-
okay. I gotta go ahead and reroll.
That's only if I get all 1s on that 3d6.
Based on the way we're rolling
But-
with physical
but
dice.
In between is random systems break, and that kind of sucks.
Yeah, there is a
Right.
bunch of other things
So-
that can break too.
Like I'm pretty sure life supports one of them, and that kind of is not fun. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll be fine, guys.
Get out of here.
You
Just keep
will.
restoring his organs as they
Oh,
fail.
no, I don't need to. I can just.
You can survive in the void?
Yeah.
Of space?
With my armor now.
Caleb, I have way
Oh.
more than 2.
Just download the whatever oxygen mod to it. I decided to limit
Wow.
myself to 1 mod.
Caleb, I have way more than 2 efforts. I have 4.
You know mods have to be upkept, right?
You have 4 now?
Yeah.
Not
you
for
positive?
telekinetic
100%.
Oh, you can get
It wasn't on your sheet.
Effort, what?
It wasn't on your sheet when I copied it
It
over.
doesn't make sense that I can make.
Oh, effort wasn't?
Yeah.
Oh.
It said 2 on there.
telekinetic
Effort, well, that was
stuff.
my current effort, is what I had written down.
It was a spike thrower.
Yeah.
That's
So I just
amazing.
reset. So
Either that or
because it's
this
per day,
fortune
right? Effort for the day.
This is
You
more damage.
commit the effort for the day, usually, yeah, and then it
That has
regains
way
at the end of the day.
less
Okay.
Or at the start of the next day.
Yeah, so I'm at,
Didn't say it like
well,
that.
4 is my max, I'm at 3. Okay, go ahead.
It's not.
Alright,
Doesn't matter. yet.
rolling again.
Okay, yeah,
I wrote them both.
so Evelyn as the co-pilot kind of like lets you guys know, right? Or lets you know. Nope, don't do that.
What ability do you
Forgot to turn on the thingamajigger.
Oh, good.
Right.
An 8.
Psychic armor, anything?
What do you get?
An 8.
Okay, yeah, that's a success. Yeah. So regular jump, 6 days.
Regular jump, 6 days.
It takes 6 days
Wow.
to do the regular jump. Yeah, because you
That happens every time, doesn't it?
you have a level 1 spike drive, so it takes a while.
So now we gotta do it again.
So now you got to do it again. Yeah. So now you're in a hex in the middle of nowhere, but then this is the jump to make it to Silas. Guys, like everyone can hear you.
Yeah, everyone can hear you, and it's actually almost the same volume as Caleb's talking.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's not my fault. Your mic is too good. Okay, you're the one that put us so close. to the face.
Don't mess with it.
There.
It's supposed to be that close, so they can. That makes it worse. It makes it worse.
I just want to apologize to our listeners.
I don't. Alright, anyways.
Alright.
So did we die yet? Sorry.
Not yet. We're about to find out.
Alright. Oh, thank goodness.
Well,
Nice.
there's our 12.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. So after lots of re-rolling, you guys made it to Silas. So, is there anything else that Evelyn or Fergus were doing during this time?
I was gonna look up stuff about the monsters on
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Silas.
Zanless.
Zanless is the
Zanless.
specific planet.
Silas
Silas
is
is
the
the system.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna look up stuff
wanna-
about monsters. I'm gonna do no.
Okay, so you just want to recall information then.
No using intelligence, correct?
Yep.
So it's +3.
Sounds good.
So 12.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
So just like in general, the monsters on Zanless.
I guess I could use precog to figure out exactly which monster.
He doesn't have a description or a picture or anything?
No.
Wow, jeez.
So that's the
I can just
thing.
use precog.
The all he knows it's reptilian.
Reptilian spider.
It's so
It's the
they-
size of a house. How many things the size of a house are on Xanax besides houses?
quite a few things.
It's the worst
Unfortunately,
planet ever.
yeah, it
Kind of a
is.
wasteland.
Heck
so-
yeah.
The question
Well, yeah, but what do
is
they
not-
eat?
The question
And they don't have to eat a lot.
monsters.
They have dome cities. So remember, so in
No,
the
what do,
inside
what do
they
the
do
monsters eat in a wasteland?
the monsters eat?
What sustains an
Other
elephant-sized monster?
other monsters.
Humans, of course.
Don't pay attention to the ecology, David.
So,
We're gonna Star Trek this and completely ignore that.
Oh, so we're gonna have
Heck
a really
no,
poorly
Babel.
choreographed punch fight with a lizard.
so what you're saying is that it's as big as a house, but can it jump higher than a house?
Oh.
What?
I don't actually understand your reference.
Can it jump higher than a house?
Can it
It's a genuine
jump
question.
higher than a house?
I
You
mean, I
don't
doubt
know.
it.
No, it can't.
You don't know.
How many creatures can jump their height? In...
Which is exactly my point. If it can't jump higher than a house, then we're dealing with something that can't jump at all. I much prefer something that can't jump at all, like an elephant. Or a squirrel.
I'm sure an elephant could jump if it tried hard enough. It would jump like an inch.
Do elephants' knees really do that?
No, I don't think so.
I mean,
They could
not
jump
nec-
forward and like fall.
It might not end well.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So, yeah, I think. I mean, you know as much as I've told you so far. But you could ask me
What have you
questions.
told us?
I
This
went
size
through a
of the
whole.
house.
Like
It's
reptilians.
big reptilian size of a
Oh.
house.
And I
I
told
was
you about
listening.
I told you about the general like monsters on Xanless as well. Remember? So it's a lot of like genetically engineered stuff that used to be around
Oh, that's what we were
that now lives in the wasteland.
Connor, you're not even playing a video game.
I know this is my usual
Attention.
low attention, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's right like nuclear wasteland basically, and it's a bunch of mutated monstrosities that like live in it.
So we're playing Fallout.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's exactly. And then the domes are just the hatches or whatever. Yeah,
Vaults.
the vaults.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Sweet. So, let's level up before we go face the devil, okay?
Go grind.
I mean,
for
first you have to
XP.
get some iron.
We don't need to grind. We just
Go
gotta
to-
like
yeah.
sit on
Power
the
armor.
like
Go to the
glitch
city.
yourself into a ledge and just keep firing it.
Go to the
Yeah,
city.
just get the fat.
Go to the city planet of Midas and just farm rats.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
grind XP from rats.
I mean, everything there is gold, so it's fine.
Power
Steal some
level.
stuff.
Power level off of rats. I'm okay with this. All right,
But
guys.
there's
change
bioengineered
plans.
rats, so
Going
there's
high.
like
All we need is a nuke.
Yeah. Fat.
And then we'll
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Well,
Remember
yeah,
the
everything's
level-
already nuclear, so
Right. So we'll just nuke all.
That's
of
fair.
the
We
rats.
might just get stronger.
Yes, exactly, and then they'll be worth more XP when we finally kill
Or
them.
maybe we'll get fired or die.
But
That
see,
makes
what
a
you do is you get a nuker, or you get a buff, and you get the rest of everybody else is just leeching. and then you can power level.
We'll just turn it into an MMO. It's fine.
It's literally an MMO.
All right, so
You just take out the MMO and put back in the RPG.
SMMO. Space.
Yeah.
There we go.
So
Whoa.
Connor gets to ask you questions.
Yes, so you can ask me other questions too about like the monsters of Xanless. What do you want to know?
Are they killable?
Oh yeah, you can definitely kill them. Like the people on Xanless only survive because they've managed to be able to figure out how to kill them.
You just have to
Right.
use spaceships.
It's just every once in a while there are like kaiju level like
Of course there
monsters
are.
that like
Of course there are.
yeah.
We need a mech then. Let's get a mech.
Oh my god.
Let's do this. Yes.
Except
Let's
next
Pacific
cost-
Rim.
I'm
the
officially
same
so
as
excited.
Let's Pacific Rim the heck out of it.
That's specifically in the nuclear oceans though of Xanless.
What do they
So far away.
drink on this planet? If their
Okay, so
oceans are
nuke
nuclear.
water.
Is that a question?
They drink
I didn't roll. I
and they
can't.
glow.
Do you want that to be one of the questions? Like, how do they survive? How do the monsters survive on this planet?
I'm at the people, but that works too.
Oh no, like the people on Xanless literally survive just because, like, in the dome cities, they just do their own agriculture inside the dome cities. And then they salvage tech from outside. They never go get food outside.
But where you get? Yeah, I got it. All right, it doesn't matter. It's not important.
They have very
Moving
sustainable
on.
farming techniques from the old
Can't
people.
farm water. Okay, moving on.
What is the easiest way to kill said monsters?
The easiest way is with lots of violence.
Exterminatus.
Like, just
Last
basically.
planet.
So a lot of them do
Space.
have like regenerative abilities and stuff like that. Basically, the best way to kill a monster is to hit it hard and fast, like with as much explosive power as you possibly can in one hit.
What? Okay,
In other words, we use the railguns.
right, but then there's nothing to harvest.
Oh, you don't want to harvest the
We're just
animals
gonna-
on
Nuclear
Xanless.
monsters.
You will die if
I
you
mean-
eat them
Okay, nuclear monsters that we shouldn't eat. Why live on the same planet with them?
because they can't get
You're
off.
stuck there.
They have TL2. They have TL2 technology. They have industrial level technology. They only survive because the domes are still active from TL4 days.
Yeah. The real
And
question is why they came there in TL4 days. Or TL5
no,
days.
before then it was fine.
Kaiju.
There was a literal apocalypse.
I was about to say, I mean,
Yeah.
why would you not go there if
Yeah.
you had spaceships and there were kaiju?
There was a literal apocalypse that happened.
Yeah.
They went all
How do they survive at TE2 against kaiju?
Because of the dome technology.
The bubbles stop the kaiju.
It's like TL2. Yeah. Oh no, so the kaiju don't never go by. The actual like legit kaiju, they just stay in the oceans.
The
Oh.
legit kaiju killed all the ocean cities a long time ago.
Yes.
Now
Yep.
there's Atlantis.
Well, I mean, we should just
All
go kill
the different
kaiju
places.
and stream it and make millions.
Power level.
Anyways, yeah.
So what you're saying is that these
I mean,
things don't have a
except-
damage cap.
This isn't D&D, so you can't. Dude, it's not how that works. Anyways, okay.
Any other questions, Connor?
I can make a goal to kill as many. I can make a goal to kill one monster.
Yeah,
And
except
then revise the goal to kill another monster.
Absolutely.
you still only get 1 XP for it, though. Even if it was
1 XP per monster.
How would I set a trap
Level
for
30.
those
rats
animals?
instead of kaiju.
How would you set a trap for said animals?
Yes.
It really depends on what kind. You would have to learn more about its specific habits and things. The problem with a lot of the monsters on Xanless is that a lot of them are there are a lot of different varieties, and they're all not super populous. So like instead of there being like 2 or 3 species that like a lot of them are, there's like about like 137 different like weird predatory monsters that only have like a couple thousand of their number, and they're constantly like they just are barely surviving, and like a lot of them like live a long time, are very hard to kill, but they just don't have a lot of population. So it's a really on a case by case basis. You'd have to figure out the specific kind of it and probably do like a bioscan on it to get any more information on it. In general, right, like finding what it likes and setting a like a bait somewhere,
Ferguson,
and then set up a bunch of explosives, right? Like that's a thing you could do.
I'm imagining the monsters from Ruby, not like different variations.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of it when I made it up, but now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, this is kind of like the Grimm.
Yeah.
It's kind of honestly exactly what this. There's probably an entire cast of warriors on this
The
planet
question
that
is,
kill the Grimm.
Are guns just totally unrealistic,
No.
horrible, and okay,
No.
good.
They literally just have like muskets and
Oh,
like,
but I meant because in Ruby
industrial
they're
level.
like, oh look, a monster,
Cool transform
automatic
weapons.
weapon, and it's just like you tickled me. And so
Oh,
it's just, okay.
right.
Making sure.
Transforming automatic weapons that actually do nothing to the monsters.
Yeah, that hurts my soul every time I see
Yep.
Mhm.
it. No. Anyways.
Okay, so the last person in this group. So, Fergus, during the 12 days, you have been doing something. Would you like to give us a montage of what that looks like?
Fergus has really thinks Ode's a good guy. He's super looking up to him. He's like, wow, Ode's super cool.
Thanks.
Fergus wants to be a useful fighter too.
Okay.
He's been training in telekinesis non-stop in the cargo hold when Till's
Okay.
not looking.
Awesome.
Till's always looking.
I'm watching you, Mike Wazowski.
I'm always watching.
I'm like telekinetically holding a picture in front of the camera that
Put a little stick figure of yourself doing something innocent.
this is what it looks like.
right in front of the cameras. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he's like in the cargo hold shooting bottles with his telekinetic gun that he has now.
Yeah. Cool. So like we see you literally like so these are invisible, right? So we see
I
you.
can make them visible or invisible.
Okay, so what do you make them?
It's
Do you make them visible?
I think the way it works is that you can dismiss and summon them. I'm pretty sure if you're using it, it's visible.
No, he can
I can
literally
literally make it
have
visible
it
or
be
invisible.
invisible.
Right, and I think,
He can
when
hold it.
you do that, I'm pretty sure it's because it's gone.
They let Jared spend quality time with the rulebook. I think we discussed
No,
this.
I mean, I almost took this ability, so I read it a lot, but it was a while ago. I might be forgetting. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure it's I might be wrong.
I know you can dismiss them, but I thought that was all you could do.
So yeah, we see you basically with like this weird transparent shotgun, basically like high tech shotgun, and then yeah you and shoot with literally just like pure force at the wall, and so you dent up Till's cargo.
No, I'm shooting it at bottles. I'm not just shooting.
I
at
mean,
the
if you're
wall.
shooting a spike thrower, you are hitting the wall.
Yeah.
Did you dent my cargo hold?
We should. I should roll to see if I did.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and roll shoot. Or telekinesis, I guess you can do.
Oh, yeah.
He's shooting with telekinesis instead of shoot.
Yeah, I can use telekinesis instead of shoot.
He literally has finger guns now.
You could also use dexterity.
He's that
just
one
to more
anime
constitution
that.
and stuff.
But
I mean, I know it's just.
You're that one anime character that has the finger guns now.
Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Come on, get with
He's
it.
don't know.
he's man, what's his name from
5.
Oh, Higgs.
Oh yeah, Higgs did it. I was thinking Steven's character, but you're right.
No,
it was
he
Higgs
didn't.
that
It was
actually
Higgs,
did it. Yeah. I mean, he did the.
Oh,
the
yeah,
grenades,
I
but-
see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. and then
Tell
what's
the
his,
legend of the man who shot at a ship with just his
and
finger.
then what's his face got credit? Yeah, that's so
I
good.
got an 8 total.
Get an 8.
Yeah.
And it's technically a success unless there's alterations.
I haven't touched it yet. David's the only one touching it.
I mean, I've only touched mine once. The cord keeps moving it.
You touched yours once and the audience couldn't hear you.
Well,
These things are
you told me that I was whispering and it was the same sound as talking, so I don't believe
How much health does our spaceship have?
Not enough. Like 10 or something
Did
stupid.
you just kill the spaceship? If you just killed our spaceship with your finger
I don't think you can
guns,
damage the spaceship with.
So damage in
small
spaceship
enemies.
damage is different. Like vehicle damage is
Yeah.
different than
It also has
personal
armor,
damage.
so.
Yeah. I don't think you would actually put a hole in the
Also,
ship.
you might ricochet some flechette around.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous. But yeah, what did you get? 8? You said? Yeah, I mean, you definitely dent the wall a bit.
I stop after I dent the wall. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna wait till we get there. And then I just I push some boxes in front of it. No, I telekinetically move the boxes
Yeah, I just,
because manual labor is below me now.
And just as Till goes walking through the cargo hold, kind of sniffs like you can tell something's damaged,
but you can't see where it is.
Everything's like 2 inches to the right.
so I can't see it.
That's awesome.
I should roll notice and see if I can see it.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Oh no.
I right, they may be invisible or visible. It's like
No, I
expression.
need to roll notice.
The other thing is that I think
Yeah, you definitely noticed.
He knows.
so. It
Yeah, you
says that the weapons are tier 4 and are treated as either advanced melee weapons or rifles. I don't know if you can pick anything else.
Yep.
I don't know if by rifle it means like a long gun,
No, yeah.
or if it just means like
It's
a
anything
rifle.
that's not a pistol and isn't a heavy weapon on that
Okay,
list.
because
So
I don't know why it would
spike
say
thrower is fine.
rifle and not
So yeah,
a
I
TL
can't
for ranged
use
weapon.
I can't use the distortion cannon.
No,
Right.
you can't use it. Oh yeah, you can
It's
use.
just weird that it specifies
rifle.
rifle. That doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, doesn't really matter though.
Mhm.
Did he break the whole? Did he break the hull?
No, honestly, it's more. It's like a cosmetic damage more than anything. It looks real ugly now.
You smudge his makeup.
Honestly, yeah, it's like someone like took cloth to your wife's face and smudged all her makeup.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you? Don't do that again.
You have to defend your
I
honor.
can't control my powers.
You can't control your powers. They may have to just drug you up and toss you off on the nearest planet.
I mean, I'd be
Don't
fine.
hurt my ship.
Yes, sir.
Joe walks away.
How much does it cost to fix it?
I'd say
1,000 credits.
I'd say it probably costs about 200 credits to actually like do fix the cosmetic damage in a satisfactory way.
Not worth it to sell.
I hand him the 200 credits. I wire it into his account when he's not looking.
Okay, cool. Well, on that note, let's go ahead and take our first break here. So we've kind of seen a little bit from everybody, which is super cool. And when we return, we'll get to Zanlis and see what awaits us there. Besides a long talk between Dylan's dad and Ode.
Okay.
So
I
we'll
changed one of
see.
my goals to survive meeting Mr. Calorie.
Yeah. All right, so we will be right back right after this break. Stick around.